Okay, it's hour two, day two of the virtual roadshow. I'm Mark
Woohoo!
for the week. If you can't tell, I'm wearing a Darth Vader costume. I know you really can't tell, but trying to keep it fun and exciting. We have EERO today. We have Pete back with us for hour two. This webinar will give you 50 points now that you're watching it live that you can use for products of your choosing after the event. It's also going to be recorded, and you'll be able to view it for 20 points, which will be on the right side of the roadshow. So make sure if you want to take a look at this again, or you have a teammate, employee that wants to learn more about EERO for Business and EERO Insight, make sure you view it after the fact. We're going to have our Q&A below. We have our friends from High Tech Network. They're going to be able to help answer your questions. We also have a poll that we're going to go live with here in a second. Again, I just wanted to thank everybody for attending yesterday and your participation, your questions. It was by far our best first day of Roadshow history. All thanks to you. We really appreciate your support of 21st Century Distributing. And also make sure $20 Grubhub gift card. Claim that at any time today. Get yourself lunch while you are learning and winning. So without further ado, we'll head it back to Pete for round
Awesome.
two of EERO.
Let's go. This is a good
Do it.
moment. My West Virginia roots are showing with the let's go. It's day two, but today's the day. In a lot of ways, today is the day. Whole lot to go through. Today we're going to take a quick look at EERO Insight, and then we're going to spend some time on EERO Business. What you should see on screen right now is EERO Insight, and that's insight.eero.com. One of the big things when we talk about Insight is this is a completely free tool. And what this means is that if you are a registered pro, if you've been to pro.eero.com, you've gone through the registration process, I'm going to give you the ability to remotely link to your customers and take a look at anything that's going on inside their network. I'm going to give you the ability with your techs, if they ever get up and leave, to maintain your customers. I'm going to give you so much more information than what you would get if you just relied on the customer's login information, or if you had 20 networks on your phone. So right now we're going to go take a quick look at my home network. Right now, this is one of two test networks that I get out and I run on a regular basis. So this is Insight. I'm going to log into my network, and I'm purposely haven't fixed things because I want you to be able to see some of the different changes here that go on. Wow. So some major changes here. Down in my garage right now, I've got a unit that just went offline about 4 days ago. That is not great. And then I just had one go off 3 days ago in an upper bedroom that's out. So a couple of things that you can see, and we're going to watch this stuff real time. Upper left-hand corner, I've got two EEROs that are offline. Upstairs, I've got one. In my garage, I've got one. You can see that I'm the verified network owner. Comcast cable is my ISP. Comcast cable is my ISP, and then the public IP address is there. Please don't start hacking the network. Time zone that I'm in, and then any reboots that have gone on. My last speed test, still a little bit embarrassing that I've got two units that have been offline for 2 days. I've been down in the lab with a pen and a pad. But here's the latest speed test, and I can run a current speed test right now just to see where things are at. I'm able to check and see, from a reboot side, I'm able to get in, see password. I can't change it. And then all of the individual particulars that are going on here. I can change the nickname to a dedicated address for this. A lot of these fields are easily configurable. So right now we're changing the address, the network nickname 123 Main Street and Mark Rocks. And
Good one.
We'll save that. You can see my, I don't have HomeKit enabled, anything like that. Other things that you're going to be able to see. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey Pete, I'm not. I'm still seeing like the original screen customer networks. I don't know if you're.
Interesting. All right. Well,
And everybody else is putting that in the chat as well.
okay. Sorry about that, boys. Let's share
You
this
may need to
tab.
go to another screen. Yeah.
Yeah, let's share
There
this
you go.
tab instead.
There you go.
So, a couple of quick things. Awesome. Apologize.
Thanks, Jason.
Kicked out. You guys are awesome. That are coming through. So just this is my top line. I'm able to see right now that I've got EEROs that are offline. Again, super embarrassing to have that, but firmware versions. The amount of devices that are connected to each individual access point. So if I come over here to the right, if I take a look at Goodfellas, I can see
Hey,
the
Pete,
IPv. Yeah, go ahead.
one more thing. I don't know if in your browser, could you maybe click the zoom a little bit? People are saying they can't see the words.
It's a little small.
Yeah, well, I'm
using like Chrome.
Yeah,
like
I'm using Chrome, Jace. So
go on the top right, the
yep,
three dots, and halfway down is like zoom.
There you go. There you go.
Awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Wow.
Thank you, Pete.
It's
Glad you're here, Jason.
a lot of ways these guys should be doing it. All right. So let me back way up then so you guys can see these things. Right now I'm seeing that I've got a residential network. On the upper right hand side, I can restart the network at any point. I can delete the network. Please do me a favor. If you're going to delete a network, let's call into our customer service. I can also disassociate from the network. If this is a zombie network, at any point, I can do that. Some of the key things that I'm going to be able to see: what is the network name? What is, from a troubleshooting and from a legacy? Do I have UPnP enabled? Do I have the guest network enabled? Who is the customer? Are they verified? And how many reboots have gone on? And then more importantly, where is the GeoIP? If I know that I'm on Comcast and I'm in Maryland, if a customer is complaining right now, look, the service is down, things like that, I can tell quickly through Down Detector, is this an EERO issue or is this something else? Right now, we're taking a look at Goodfellas. I can see right now that it is online, that the firmware version is scheduled for an update, what the serial number of that device is. Actions that I can do: I can restart that, I can edit the location, or I can remove that as a dedicated gateway. I've got 4 devices that are connected specifically to this access point. So if I click, I can go into the view topology. Going into that topology view, come on. I'm able to see the individual devices. Let's get out of this. I'm able to see the 4 devices that are connected to this. Let's sort by signal strength. And this is the problem with the zoom, but that's all right. So the connectivity on this looks good. But I'm able to come in and see all of the individual access points, everything else. I'm also able to click on events here. So I had a leap to gateway path channel change that had occurred. I can see any of the major changes. I had a smart bulb that lost its IP address, not surprising. And I can go through all of the events of the day of everything here that has happened. Clicking bigger, though, into topology. And guys, I'm just going to back down the zoom here a second. Right now we're at 200. That should be a little bit better. Now I'm able to see a little bit better. If I take a look at my Echo Hub, I can see, connectivity is good, what the host name is, the IP address, the MAC address. I'm also going to be able to get the dedicated RSI value that comes up. Here's my Echo Show 15. Let's boost this out just a little bit further and scroll up. Apologize again because of the zoom making it a little bit more difficult, but I'm able to see each individual device, where it's connected, what it's connected to, how it's connected across. Able to see individual devices. My daughter left her phone. Actually going to be able to see, and I'm able to see the signal path. Other things that I can do here is I can get into audit logs. So I can see every major change that a tech has made or that the homeowner has made as well. So if you want additional access from an analytics standpoint, customer calls in and says, look, there's a dedicated problem with your network. I'm able to see the total amount of reboots in the last month. I've had one reboot that's happened on this device, and it was just for an over-the-air update. I can take that though, and I can look at every single access point. You can see the gentleman right now. This is downstairs in my mechanical room in the garage. Ford versus Ferrari. What was the reason for that? It was an over-the-air update. Goonies. This is down in my basement. You know, one was a power cycle. The power actually went out, and an over-the-air update, and then everything else that's gone on here. Power cycles are primarily where I'm having my issues. This was actually a scary moment. I had a leak in my garage. This is the reason why I had just a ton of reboots. I had 112 reboots. My son, who is working as a tech, actually called and said, why is there this amount of power cycles? I was tripping a GFI, but not enough to fully take it offline. And my son called and was like, what the hell is going on downstairs? It's a really great tool where I'm getting those notifications across. Channel utilization. I can come in and I can take a look at every individual access point, and I can see the channel history activity on a 2.4, on a 5, and on a 6. I can see the noise ratio on a 6, a 5, and this was just a channel change that had occurred. And I can also see it at a 2.4 level, and pretty stable in the garage that's gone on. I can then match that up with the topology. If there's something major here, that's going on, I can take advantage of that. Speed tests, I'm able to come through and check and see, am I getting the amount of uploaded percent, that's gone on. Now, because I've had units go offline, there's been a little bit of a slow down that's come through. And then outages, any signal outages in the last week, in the last month. All of these tools are completely 100% for free. All you need to do is purchase any unit from a 21st Century, use the dealer approved app, and that's because you're an approved dealer at pro.eero.com. Use that, link your network to your dedicated customer, and all of the back end tools here are huge. All of this being free, it gives you the ability to monetize. It gives you the ability to come back to your customer and say, look, did you know that in the last given month, this is the highest amount of data that's being used? This is my daughter's tablet at 84 gigs. The downstairs Fire Stick in the last month did 83 gigs of data. It's my daughter's phone, Respawn, at 64 gigabits, and my MacBook, as well as my phone. And you can see that I am 50 years old, and on my phone, I'm doing half the data that actually even less than half the data that's out there. My cell booster, everything else. Now, for anybody that wants to get into the dedicated tweaks that are there, we can get into network settings, and this is where I'm going to be able to see quite a bit more. This is where the WAN type is. I'm running DHCP because it's a default. We're trying to get more into IPv6. I'm just struggling, not really seeing the huge benefit. If I call into customer service, I'm going to be able to set up my own IP schema on my own dedicated subnet masks that are out there. I don't feel like I'm being really impactful for you because I'm trying to jazz it up. It's just there's a lot of back end data that I'm able to do with this on guest access. I can see the guestwork name here. It's for my daughter and her friends. It's called Empty the Dishwasher. And if I click on that, I can edit this out and change this on the fly. ISP settings that I can get into. I can enable multicast for IPTV. I'm able to come in and update my DHP or NAT settings. DNS, this is where I'm going to come through and really begin to update my schema and what it is that I'm trying to do. In addition to all of this, if you really truly want to get into the tweaks, this is where I can update my software update window. I can change that at any point getting into the edit button and choose that. I can also manually choose to roll my IP updates at any time, IP reservations, port forwarding, all of that, any of the types of tips, tricks, or tweaks that you'd like to do, we can do. I'm going to pause there. Jason, I'm going through a whole bunch of data really quickly and maybe not doing it as appealing. Any major questions that we can tee off while I've got this up and on screen? What can I show somebody, or where can we go deeper?
There was a question about EERO Insight help me optimize my business network's performance and security. So I think we're going to get into that a little bit later on. It's
Yeah,
EERO
no,
for business.
we're really going to go deep into EERO for business.
Okay.
Mark?
Hey, let's just reiterate the initial setup the first time they get on Insight, because I think that's sometimes there's just getting that first unit online,
Yeah,
and then it's kind of a cakewalk after that. I think that's
it's
just,
one of
let's
one
just
of
clarify the process of
yeah.
getting your first job set up.
So this is absolutely, I can't keep stressing it. This is absolutely free, and I'd love for you guys individually to find a way to monetize. Would love to find a way for you guys to monetize the system, and the software, and you can set up, because you can view remotely. One of the key things is, as Mark's saying, is setting it up correctly. When you arrive on job site, and you don't even have to arrive on job site, you can do this from home. One of the big things that you're going to be able to do, come on, actually, let's go back here. One of the big things that you're going to do, you're going to buy a unit right now from 21st Century. You're going to come in and make sure that you are a registered pro. So how do you know that you're a registered pro? You've been to pro.eero.com. You've filled out the application form for that. They've sent you some type of information back. There, you log into the EERO app with the same credentials that you applied on pro.eero.com. You can then take that app. You can take that app and set up your first network at home. You can set up your network on the job site. In this case, we're going to do it on the job site. We're going to deploy in a 3,000 square foot home. We're going to deploy 3 total EEROs. And at the very end, using your installer app, you're going to choose, it's going to say, are you done? Is there anything more? Great. You're going to link the network to the customer. Now, a lot of times, common sense says, why would I ever want to give my customer control of that? All you're doing right now is giving them the ability to see what's going on. Any of the tweaks, anything else, but you're also protecting yourself from consumer data privacy laws, everything else. And in return, you're going to get the ability to see all the goodness that is here. But you do have to link the network to the customer. You have to accept that, and you're going to get all of this really relevant information. Are my access points online? I'm going to stop your truck rolls. What are the behaviors of the devices, and the ability to individually name those devices. Information of how is it connecting? What band is it connecting to? What is the MAC address of that? What are the individual areas that are going through? Lots and lots and lots of dedicated, precise information. And the best part is, if you go back to EERO Insight, once you've done your first install, we're going to give you the ability from home, from a workbench, to create a dedicated network. So you can pre-provision all of your EEROs before you're even on site with your customer. I'm going to save you time and money. Take the guy that's at home right now checking or doing any of the box loading with the painter's tape and everything else. We can do that. Other things that you can do right now, going into the regional, going into the secondary setting, I'm going to give you the ability to start setting up. Here's Gary Usher right now at Powerhouse Alliance. I set him up as a dedicated tech, and we're going to remind him, hey, you're a tech that you can go through. But at any point, I can also remove techs. And once I remove a tech, all of the installs that they've done stay directly with me. So if you're a business owner that's had 2, 3 guys come um, into your organization and leave, you're also able to maintain all of your customers every single time. Pretty good?
Really good.
Awesome. Jace, any other questions?
Hey,
Because I
Pete,
want to get
actually,
into.
I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'll just quickly jump in. I think also what Mark was asking about that first deployment, because he and I did a video on this, is
Yeah.
that when you do that first system, you have to verify your email address the next business day. So in other words, when you've deployed the system with your EERO Pro credentials, your dashboard, EERO Insight, which Pete is showing right now, won't actually be visible until you confirm your email address, and that takes 1 business day. That's a 2-factor authentication thing for security. So that's sometimes where I see people stumble a little bit, as they don't know to be on the lookout for that the next day, and then they wonder why their dashboard isn't live. Once you've done that, every future deployment will show up under your dashboard immediately. One final thing on that too is, once you have your book of business and customers here, if one of them wants to add an EERO to their house, they love the system, they come back and they say, hey, I'd love to add another, PoE6, Pro 6E, whatever it is, you can literally commission that access point in your office, add it to their network on this dashboard, and hand it to them, let them plug it in at home, and it will come online and be part of their network. So there's a lot of benefits to using the tool. So sorry, I just wanted to add that.
No, look,
Thanks,
it
Chris.
takes a village. Really, truly takes a village through. So, um, that's awesome. I'm really trying to stay focused here on I'm just getting through and getting all of this really good information over to you guys. Let's get over to EERO for Business unless there's some huge questions. But Mark's got the who's it, like he wants to say something. Who's
No,
it?
I was saying, are you on? What are we supposed to be seeing right now? Customer
I
networks.
I actually am just getting ready to queue up the slides for EERO for Business.
Okay, just want to make sure we're not supposed to be looking at something else.
No, Jace.
We had a question: take over existing systems that were set up by the customer.
Yeah, if the customer goes into their app in the upper right-hand side, there should be a setting for adding a new network admin, and that should give you the ability to take over an existing customer's network. Other thing that you always can do is write down the SSID, do a soft reboot, and do a new setup there. Or the last option would be to call into our customer service. Yes, no,
Good.
awesome. All right, so let's dive in here and go. This is EERO for Business. One of the big challenges when we talk about, well, let's do a quick. I'm actually going to come back over to the chat. Do me a favor. I'm taking a look right now at some of the questions that you guys are coming back with. How many people are doing light commercial? And one of the big things that I love about 21st Century is that they don't just sell products, they sell ideas, they sell concepts, and they give you the ability to think a little bit different. If you come in for an individual product, you're going to walk out with a solution. It's one of the single best things I find inside the branches, and that's where EERO comes into play. We say yes, where other manufacturers start to qualify. We work with everybody and want to work with everybody. And that means you too, as an installer. If you're just doing residential, let me tell you, there is a huge business opportunity today that you're missing. Right now, the small medium business category, there's over 33 million small medium businesses that are out in the marketplace. And what that means is, for you as an installer, there's $25 billion worth of an addressable market and an average of $64 a month for an internet plan. The biggest issue today is that, and you've seen these guys, if you go into a business park, you go into a shopping mall, things like that, a lot of business owners right now, they're not, they have a passion for what they do, but they don't understand all of the different support areas that need to go into making a business run. Small businesses need a Wi-Fi solution that doesn't require a huge investment, and they really don't want hands-on maintenance. Everybody understands today more than ever the need for business grade Wi-Fi. And goodness gracious, when we're talking about a business, we want to have advanced security. I was at a Texas Roadhouse over about a month ago, and just out of curiosity, I'm running Fing, and I can see that the same guest network that I'm on is where all the credit card terminals are on as well. That's scary because I've got a laptop open. I'm just sitting. At any point, if I'm enabled or or was interested in doing it, I can start to see some things that maybe I shouldn't see. That's why together today, we're introducing EERO for Business. And this is a powerhouse exclusive. That means that if you're in the Southeast right now, we want you to come into 21st Century. We're going to be rolling this out over the next 2 to 3 weeks that are out there. And I want to show you how easy it is. If you've got a job today, at a dentist's house, if you've got a job today for a bar or a network owner, don't hand that job off when they ask, can you come in? We can offer you something that's simple. We can offer your customers business grade Wi-Fi with really good security, easy to set up, and then the ability to support up to 100 devices with speed testing and outage detecting, and then a smart device setup that's as easy as powering this on. Now, the business owner gets so much that comes out of it. The business owner is going to be able to log in and at any point be able to do a network health check. He's going to be able to make sure, they are going to be able to make sure that there is a dedicated speed test, and they're going to be able to see all the business and visitor profiles that are coming on, as well as the guest network. And that's just for the business owner. Now, what the entire business gets is a really awesome proposition, that business grade Wi-Fi. This is a subscription service that offers 4 dedicated SSIDs, each with a dedicated purpose. And there's an SMB branded captive portal. What that means is you walk into Smitty's Donuts, and you're greeted with free Wi-Fi. And I love having a cup of coffee and a cruller or a maple bar. Mark, next time, please, donuts for everybody. But the ability to sit down, have a cup of coffee, and I love that Smitty is capturing my phone number or he's capturing my email. And we'll talk more about why that's important. What Smitty's Donuts is getting is they're getting a self-service co-branded app, so they're able to check and see on what the installer's done. And here's some really amazing things. Smitty's is able to do ad blocking. No Krispy Kreme advertising that's going on. We're able to do content filtering so that we're not doing any adult themes, or we're not doing anything that's about war or gore or violence and things like that. And we're also making sure that the network doesn't get hacked. Here's the biggest ROI positive, though, is that if the internet does go down at this donut shop, we're able to add in an alternate wireless connection. And that's anything from a Starlink. And then that's anything from a Starlink to a mobile hotspot, anything else. You paid a lot of money to have your business open. If the internet goes down, have that dual failover capability in the EERO business portal. Now, one of the big things that you're hearing right now, and already I'm sure Jason's trying to get in, this is a $6.99 cost for 5-year license. $6.99 cost for a 5-year license to the end consumer. There's 40 points of margin, and Chris is furiously picking up his calculator to come back and explain to everybody what that actually means in dollars. But at $6.99, this is at a $6.99 price point. What your customer is getting is those 4 dedicated SSIDs and a captive portal. Now, the captive portal allows you to create a customized experience, loyalty discounts, promotions. But the big thing for the business owner is visitor analytics and just overall network traffic. What you're able to do with 4 SSIDs, and I can already hear the wheels spinning. Custom integrators are like, wow, all of a sudden $6.99, we can do 4 SSIDs. Let me keep it to a business aspect, but you're not wrong on the custom integration side. What I can do inside a business is I've got that main network that I can reserve for ownership, that I can reserve for management or for IT needs. I can have something on the business network. This is something for day-to-day employees that are out in common use devices. On a totally separate SSID, I've got a guest network, and then I've also got that dedicated IoT network. 4 dedicated SSIDs so that I'm keeping front of house and back of house completely separate that's going on for that. In addition to that, we're going to give the business owner some really amazing software. I don't know about you. I probably have 10, 12, 15 different passwords that are there. And my scheme right now is that if I walked into a 21st Century and they're like, you've got to create a new password, it would be 21st Century new password. That's not a great way to do passwords. A password manager is a big thing. Malwarebytes, the ability to clean and protect, and then a soft virtual VPN. So when I'm traveling, public Wi-Fi is just so dirty. This is a complete security tool set that they're getting that normally we would charge $200 a year for. The business owner is getting all of this for $6.99 for 5 years. Really, really strong online security where we're doing scans on anything that's coming in from a website to dedicated threat protection that's coming up, and more importantly, ad blocks and content filter that's out. Now, this is the big part here. If you are a residential installer, one of the big reasons why a lot of us are fearful of getting into an SMB is, how do I sell this? How do I talk to somebody about the need for this? This is where that visitor engagement dashboard really comes into play. This should be available in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Is one of the reasons why we're waiting just a little bit longer. But again, will be available at 21st Century for over 100 days as an exclusive. You're going to be able to, as a business owner, for making that investment at $6.99, you're going to be able to see how many unique and loyal visitors are coming through. How long did they spend inside the store? What are the busiest times of the day and the week? And then the best part about this is you can be ROI positive, return on investment positive, because I can export that visitor information. And now I've got a direct to consumer email campaign, text campaign, or just a recognition. Mark Garrigan, welcome. Thank you for spending 37 minutes eating a maple bar. You're our customer of the week. That comes through. This is a huge tool for a business owner to be able to come back and say, not only am I getting really great Wi-Fi, not only am I able to segment that dedicated wired traffic, not only am I getting dual failover internet and some really great software, but I'm able to monetize that because I can speak directly to my customer. And you work as the benefit, because if you come in and offer really good Wi-Fi to your customers, the biggest thing that's going to happen if you offer really good Wi-Fi to them, they're going to talk to you about TVs. They're going to talk to you about a really good audio system. They're going to talk to you about digital signage. It is a huge capability for you, and you get to come in and participate in all of that. All right, so EERO for Business offers a complete solution. If you know EERO and you're using EERO on the residential side, this is a huge capability. Business grade Wi-Fi with true mesh. Business features, the bandwidth rate limiting is huge. I just went actually through this the other day. I'm at a McDonald's, not the one with, we'll just leave that out of the news, but I'm at a McDonald's and somebody is streaming on Netflix, and I'm like, I just need to send a business email quickly. I can do a bandwidth limiting, captive portal, multiple SSID, content filtering, threat protection, ad blocking, and internet backup. All the benefits of EERO Insight, everything that we just went through this morning, and then the goodness of the EERO experience that comes up. So why don't we take just a quick moment, Jason? I'm doing a lot.
If we have some questions, then
yeah. Actually, I was going to ask to jump in for just a second. So I noticed this one's easier to answer verbally than to try to type it. So the question we have was, can independent SSIDs be set up for either 2.4 or 5, and can you turn off on band steering? So the way EERO works is the same in this configuration as the other, meaning it's going to broadcast each of its 2, 4, and 5. Typically, when somebody asks me this question, what they're really trying to do is get a 2.4 device only, a 2.4 only device onto the network. And inside of EERO, you can go under troubleshooting and choose temporarily disable everything except for 2.4. That basically puts your phone and said 2.4 Internet of Things device in the same lane so that it can get onto the network. Once it's on, it's going to stay on. But you can't just say this SSID is only 2.4, that one is only 5. It's going to broadcast all the channels and let the client device get in the lane where it's best suited for speed and performance.
That might be the most complete answer I've heard in a long time, Chris. That's awesome. Good for you.
Let's give away a Mac 7. How many, whoever answers first is going to win a Mac 7. How many SSIDs do you have for your EERO for Business license? And you could go ahead, Pete.
Okay. Just go ahead.
Hey, Pete.
Yeah.
Another question for existing dealers. Will there be any sort of demo program to allow them to show that to customers?
What an awesome
for upgrading.
What an awesome idea. They just actually made it so much better. Yeah,
Joseph, congratulations.
That might be worth a prize if Pete liked that answer. So that's free.
well, you guys are absolutely incredible here in terms of the questions. Yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't do that. Let me see what I can do, Jason. But if you can take that down as an action item, do me a favor. Type in the number 2, if you would be. Type in the number 2 if you'd be interested in. Wow. Type in the number 2 if you'd be interested in a demo account at a really ridiculous price.
Probably going to get a lot of 2s.
Gives me the ability to follow up with everybody for you and I, right?
Right.
Good
Pete,
stuff.
can
All
you
right, so just
confirm,
Brent.
as this
Yeah.
question was asked, sort of, and I wasn't 100% sure, with EERO for Business, does it require a Max 7 beyond the project, or will it just work with any Pro 6E, PoE 6 Max 7?
That is the single best thing that we're doing here at 21st Century, and other powerhouse, but specifically at 21st Century. One of the best things is that you sell the license first to the customer, and then apply whatever hardware. Now, there's other distributors right now that have gotten into games where they want to attach it like to an EERO gateway. It's one of the single best things that I love about 21st Century is that you can walk in and you can build the product that is specific to your customer. If you've got a low end, it's a horrible choice of words, but if I'm walking into a YMCA or a Boys and Girls Club, cash is probably a little bit tighter, and I don't know why we would need 4 SSIDs at a Boys and Girls Club. But if it's a low maintenance network, but we still need those benefits, I can walk in, I can buy the license, and I can apply that to the EERO 6 Plus. If you need this for a higher end system with just complete high end Wi-Fi 7, we can do this with 4 dedicated EERO Max 7s. And you're hearing me limit, I'm not. But the big thing at 21st Century is we're going to give you the ability to buy the license first and then roll your hardware. It's huge. All right, so who's EERO Business for? And this is, go ahead, Jace.
Well, I think this is a question that came up. Is this product for smaller businesses? And I think you're about to answer it. So, Heather,
Yeah,
this is for you.
this is good stuff. This is sorry, it's a busy day for me, and I have so much in the background going on. Literally, since this call has been going on, 27 different text messages. So I apologize about being distracted. When we talk about who this product is for and where to go, a lot of times, if you're a residential installer, you don't know where to get started. I'm going to give you my personal picks right now. The single biggest place that everybody is on their phone and they need Wi-Fi, a nail salon. And I'm not going to deal with the grief from y'all. I like a pedicure every now and again. My toes deserve to feel fancy. But every time I walk into a nail salon, everybody's got their phones out. Why not take advantage of that? Even if just why not take advantage of it? Other places that I would love for you to go. I don't see it on screen, but I'm telling you, every donut shop that's out there, I see these old guys sitting on their phones, drinking a cup of coffee, having a cruller, having a maple bar. This is where you want to go. And a hardware store is the single biggest reason for this. Places that you're going to see digital signage opportunities and really good Wi-Fi needs: real estate agencies, travel agencies, coffee shops, bistros, bars, all in a big way. Bike shops, the amount of wait to get a bike done is huge. But in good times and in bad times, people are always in nail salons, pet stores, coffee shops, and bars. Please, it takes you 20 minutes to make an offer to a customer, just walking through. If you're out rolling your truck on your way to somebody's and you stop to get a taco, or you stop to get a pierogi, or you stop to get even a cup of coffee, it takes 5 minutes just to ask the question, what are you doing for internet? What is it that you're hoping to get out of this? Now, here's the best part when we talk about EERO for Business. All of the devices at 21st Century qualify for this. So the EERO 6 Plus, which is a dual band product with a 2x2 radio, EERO 6 Plus. The EERO Pro 6E is a tri-band product, speeds capable to 1.6 gigabit. The EERO Max 7 that Chris Cowdery rightfully called out, this is the flamethrower of devices. It's a 2x4x4 radio with 4 dedicated ports so that I can go that flex wired or wireless. The EERO PoE6 for that clean tuck away look. If you've got drop ceilings, this is going to do absolutely incredible in the EERO PoE gateway. A little bit more in depth, and yes, a copy of this presentation has been saved. It will be available for you guys to work through. 21st is such a huge partner with us. This is scalable. It's something that you're going to be able to use and take advantage of and work with your customers. So how do you sign up? You can always come to any 21st Century, or if you have individual questions, contact prosales@eero.com, but we're going to send you right back to a really amazing team. Sean is probably one of the most knowledgeable national sales managers that's out there. You've got goodness at your counters at 21st where they want to be able to help you. So let's get into just some quick things. We're talking about subnets, not VLANs. It's an important distinction because we're now supporting multiple networks with separate subnets from a single EERO, not a VLAN. We're working on a VLAN capability. Bandwidth limiting. This is a network feature where we can limit how much bandwidth the network uses. This is great. Nobody's asked me yet, and it probably hasn't come up, but for an RV park, this is absolutely huge. Local access right now, the IoT and visitor networks aren't going to support local access. They only allow for access to the internet. But this is a really good place to be able to take a dedicated screenshot. All right, post troubleshooting placement. One of the big things when we're talking about EERO for Business, making sure the RSSI is good. This is why yesterday we were spending so much time on RSSI. We want to make sure that you're adjusting the placement. The app will tell you and topology will tell you. Sometimes if it's just not working, swap the working node out and see if it's an environmental issue or a hardware. And then when in doubt, come to a completely different spot. It's a big thing. All right, how to check backhaul and Insight. You know, this is where we're clicking the node in question and why Insight's such a huge deal. And this is where we're going to be able to see what's going on. Where is this and what channel is it operating on? What device is it firing back to? Check the device connection in Insight. There's so much information where I'm able to see the bit rate. I'm able to see the Wi-Fi standard, the security, everything else that's going on. If I'm unable to, just Google the make and model of the item, and you can get a lot of information about the dedicated specs that you're trying to bring online.
Hey, Pete, we got a question here that I'm not sure I can answer. And actually, this might be a Mark answer, but if there were a hardware failure, which we all know is very, very, very rare, how is that facilitated? Is it just returned to 21st Century? Or I think the answer is it's probably troubleshot with EERO Pro, and then they'll handle the return if necessary. Do we know, Mark?
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, if it's out of the box right away, we went through the troubleshooting process. Then yeah, we would RA it and swap it out within 30 days. But that rarely ever happens.
Yeah. Do me a favor if Mark and Jason, anybody else that might be on the call that is there, I think total this year, I can pull it up, but I think total this year, Mark, we've done less than 10 RMAs, and you guys have moved through just over roughly about 60,000 units.
Right.
So yeah, it's a big thing. All right, just very quickly, I wanted to get into Pro Academy. We touched on this lightly yesterday. This is Pro Academy, and this is an area that we're going to partner with 21st Century. Mike and Sarah and Mark do such an amazing job right now. We're going to have and feature some in-depth product walkthroughs and how-to videos. Really, what kicked this off was Mark and Chris going in-depth about EERO Pro Academy. One of the other things that we're going to share, not just keep on our site, but share directly with 21st and you all, is a robust library of training content. Things like our national webinar that Mark and I did several months ago, where we talked about things, and we're going to dive into tutorials, things like that. There is a whole bunch of just product walkthroughs, cable management, things like that. That's all going to be available on the EERO website, as well as making sure that they're also available at 21st Century. One of the big things that I'm looking for more forward to than ever before is downloadable guides. You know, where do I set things up? How do I set things up? Across. There's enrollment and info that's coming really, really soon that's out. All right. At the end of the day, we want to make everything just work. We want to make the connected home come to life. And that's not just an EERO thing, that's a 21st century thing. To come in and just offer great Wi-Fi is a mistake. There's great locks, there's great cameras, thermostats, lights, all that can get tied in and creating an overall package. No customer is calling in and saying, I would like you to do the WXA 50 from Yamaha. Could you come in and install that? That would be really great. Somebody is calling you and saying, hey, we'd like to create an outdoor solution right now, and we'd like just a smaller amp. And I'm talking about a much long ago amp for Chris and I. But somebody's asking, can you create an outdoor situation for us so that we can be out on the patio and listening to music? We want to be more than a connectivity platform, and this is EERO and you. We don't want to just come in and talk to a customer about speeds and feeds. We want to talk about the fact that, look, the nature is changing. There's over 100 different devices that are going to be on network. Do a job, you know, do a better job managing this, or I can help you do a better job managing this with an EERO system and not relying on your ISP. And then really try to become the CTO of the jobs that are going through. Don't just come in and install. Be there to support post network. And when you do that, this is how you set up for that reoccurring monthly revenue, or the RMR, that comes through. Don't treat symptoms, treat the root cause. This is a great lineup of product that we've got. I'm going to pause so you can take a quick screenshot if you need to. And then, of course, we've got a fantastic customer support number. As we talk about RMA, if you've got a product that's having difficulties, you can always call 1-866-754-7286, 1-866-754-7286. These are going to do a really good job. Now, when you buy directly through 21st Century, when you buy at local distribution, that includes lifetime support of the product for the homeowner. So one of the big things of why should somebody go with you instead of buying something off the shelf? We keep talking about all the great things that EERO offers. Insight is available to pros. You can't get that as a general consumer. EERO for Business is a software service that is only available to the pro installer market. And then this really great support that's out there. And then we always want to hear about any really good install solutions, stories, anything else that's going on. Feel free to email us at checkthis@eero.com. Now I'm going to go and swear you guys to secrecy, but I've got a really important webinar coming up on Friday with 21st Century, and it's the single biggest reason why you want to come back. Now we're going to spend some time answering questions. I'm not going to tell you just yet what I'm doing on Friday, but Mark's going to give me the high sign when we're at about 30 seconds and letting me know when it's time to go. But it's huge. You want to know. Jason, any really good questions? Chris, any good questions?
Yeah, there was one about the PoE gateway shelf. Will that be available at 21st Century? I wasn't sure the answer to that one.
We can make that available. We can make that available on a special order. We can make that available on a special order, and if Jordan's interested in getting it, we'll waive the MOQ. But yeah, it's a pretty awesome shelf. It's made of aluminum and it's flat on a plane. But yes, if you'd like a rack mountable shelf, we've got that capability.
I'll get with you on that, Pete.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Bryant, I really appreciate it. The answer is to your question, Bryant, is that if you were looking for an outdoor access point, well, let's just hear it right now. I keep hearing everybody kind of nodule back and forth. If you're interested in an outdoor access point, do me a favor, write outdoor AP in the question box. Would really like to see. I don't think anybody's really that interested. I've only seen 2 people ask about it. If you'd like
Yeah,
to
right.
see,
What are you getting at here, Pete?
if you guys would like to see that exclusively, the very first national webinar where we're working directly with a distributor is going to be this Friday at 21st Century. Our best partner, our single best partner, Mark and I, Chris and Jason, are going to be rolling this out with an in-depth look at this unit on Friday here at 21st Century. More importantly, if you're interested in this product, it is available right now at your local 21st Century today. You can order that product, take advantage of that product, and use that product. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic piece. Wi-Fi 7 point-to-point capability for up to 2 miles, a really intuitive app. I'd love to talk to you guys about this more. Go ahead, Jace.
Yes. Well, someone was asking about if the Mac 7 will be PoE, but I guess that's for
No.
Friday.
Yeah, we'll go into a lot more depth.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
Yep. Folks, I got to run. I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of these good people at 21st Century. Where can I go get my Grubhub certificate, though, Mark?
Very good.
Where is
Go to
that?
the virtual food court in our virtual conference center and make sure you claim your Grubhub gift card. Thank you very much, Pete, for reminding us of that. And if you missed something in this, I know there's a lot of information here. If you missed something, we will have it recorded and you can earn another 20 points for reviewing this again. Or if, like I said, if there's a teammate, employee of yours that wants to go review this information again, we will have that on our virtual conference center. So that will be recorded. It's going to be up in minutes. So you'll see this soon. But Pete, really appreciate it. Looking forward to Friday. Friday's going to be a big day as well. We're going to be giving away a lot more products. But really appreciate everybody and the high-tech team, Jason and Chris. Thank you so much for helping us out with the questions.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pete. We'll see you Friday. And see you.